Hello everyone. Welcome back the Star Beats channel and must watching this video very interesting top 3 musicians who hated Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen is broadly regarded as one of the best guitarists in rock records. He changed into the guitarist, keyboardist, backing vocalist and primary songwriter of the rock band Van Halen, which he founded with his brother Alex in 1972. The brothers fashioned Mammoth with Mark Stone on bass and Eddie on lead vocals. He was the original lead singer of Mammoth earlier than adding Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth in 1974 and converting their name to Van Halen. The rock world experienced a huge transformation in the course of Van Halen's reign, along setting up what it honestly supposed to be a guitar virtuoso. Van Halen unmarried-handedly revolutionized guitar technical prowess, organizing the act of finger tapping wherein both hands are used at the fretboard, taking into account fast and complicated melodies. Warner Brothers signed the band in 1977 and the band's debut album Changed Into launched a year later. With the aid of the early 1980s, Van Halen changed into one of the most hit rock acts of the time previous to their disbandment in 2020. Following Eddie's demise, Van Halen launched 12 studio albums, and the brothers had been the handiest two regular contributors of the band. Eddie Van Halen is extensively regarded as one of the finest guitarists in rock history, celebrated for his innovative techniques and contributions to tune. No matter his huge achievement with Van Halen, there were a few criticisms and blended emotions approximately him as a person and musician. Even a few well-known musicians expressed their dislike for him. Here are 3 musicians who hated Eddie Van Halen. Jerry Garcia, the prodigious guitarist and Grateful Dead frontman. Jerry Garcia, a pioneer of the psychedelic rock scene. Garcia changed into recognized for his improvisational style rooted in folk, blues, and jazz, wasn't specifically inspired with the aid of Van Halen's rapid-paced guitar gambling fashion. In a 1985 interview, Garcia stated that Van Halen's music lacked a certain rhythmic elegance and intensity that he preferred in music. After being wondered if he listened to artists like Eddie Van Halen, Garcia declared that he didn't listen to Van Halen's statistics because they did not wow him. Because I can hear happening there isn't always a great deal there that pursues me. It isn't performed with enough deliberateness, and it lacks a sure form of rhythmic elegance that I like track to have, that I like notes to have. There is a lot of notes and stuff, however, the notes aren't pronouncing a great deal. You recognize David Lee Roth. No matter Van Halen and David Lee Roth's a success partnership, they'd a tumultuous courting. Their creative differences and clashes ultimately led to Roth leaving the band. Roth departed the group in 1985 and launched into a success solo career, but when replacement singer Sammy Hagar did not need to participate in a best hits album, Van Halen brought lower back Roth. He reunited with the band briefly in 1996 and again in 2007, with members now and again coming collectively for tours. Because that point the reunion failed to last. Eddie Van Halen hated Roth's showboating at the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards. However, the singer would take part in some excursions in the 2000s and a 22 studio album. There were usually innovative variations. Roth admitted that they've by no means gotten alongside. We started in rival bands, sour rivals, however we have been thrown collectively, and it was great as for exactly while he and Van Halen's mutual dislike began. Roth claimed it had been happening forever. We've got continually hated every other proper up till the ultimate telephone name. Roth believes the animosity within Van Halen really contributed to the institution's reputation. He admitted that they've usually had a mutual dislike for each different. Lindsey Buckingham, as the lead guitarist of Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham had a contrasting musical approach to Van Halen. Buckingham had a few opinions on the one's varieties of flashy guitar gamers, mainly calling out one of the maximum cherished 6-string strummers of all time. Buckingham believed that the focal point ought to be on highlighting the music instead of showcasing man or woman prowess. He felt that Van Halen's guitar capabilities overshadowed the essence of their band's tune. There are methods you may select ahead. You may try and be a person like Eddie Van Halen, who's an outstanding guitarist, a virtuoso, yet he does not make excellent facts because what he plays is totally lost in the context of this band's tune. At some stage in the 1980s, Van Halen and Fleetwood Mac, 6 for the identify of America's biggest rock band, both had been highly a success, multi-platinum acts providing exquisite guitarists and a changing lineup of vocalists. Buckingham's remarks are not a critique of Van Halen's talent, but alternatively a statement on their typical sound.